How different are the Bills from the last time that you saw them?
Yeah, they certainly have some new coverage wrinkles and some things. I think they do a great job of making everything look the same pre-snap and then trying to change the picture on your post-snap. So they've added a lot of those wrinkles. A couple faces back from the last time that we played them. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, to identify those new coverages and make sure that we're efficient, getting the ball out and running the football.
What can you take away from the first matchup?
I think, we had some opportunities situationally we got to capitalize on. I think we, did a good job of generating some chunk plays, and we're going to have to look for ways to dress up what we do and try to do the same thing, just at a more consistent level.
You guys had some long drives last week, but obviously didn't punch it in. When you went back and looked, what did you say?
Yeah, again, a couple missed opportunities, for various reasons, and I agree with you. I thought we moved the ball well. We just stalled out in that same kind of area that we have all year. So we've got to find a way to fix that here in these last two games and finish in a way that we're proud of. So we've been looking at everything, trying to figure out how we can kind of push through that fringe area in that gold zone and come away with sevens.
As a play caller, how do you deal with someone like Garrett, who's obviously frustrated that he wants the ball more? He's gotten it a lot. I think he's fourth in targets, but he's obviously wants it a little bit more. So how do you balance that?
Yeah, first of all, I'd say all of that is a byproduct of people wanting to win. He's a competitor, just like Devontae's a competitor, just like our tight ends, have great competitive spirit. So it's not a bad thing for somebody to want the ball when you don't score enough points to win the football game. The staff and I work very, very hard to try to make sure that everyone comes into our meetings on game plan install meetings and says, okay, I could definitely get the ball there. I can definitely get the ball there. All right, this play is designed for me. This play, I've got to do my job so that somebody else can do theirs. And I feel like throughout the course of the season, we've done a good job of making sure that those opportunities are balanced across the game plan. There are so many things that happen when the ball snap that can dictate where the football goes. And when we only score 9 points, we got to look at ways to get our playmakers the ball more. So I feel like it's been a balance that we've done a pretty decent job of throughout the course of the year. And obviously we want to get our guys the ball as much as we can.
How difficult is that, though? Because you mentioned that, and you still have Reese, too, who needs to get a lot of touches. Like, you have guys who obviously are playmakers. How difficult is it to feed everybody in the game?
Yeah, I think one of the first times I stood up here and chatted with y'all, I'd said it was going to be a challenge from a play calling standpoint to make sure that all the mouths were fed. And I think that if you look at the distribution over the course of the year, I think guys have found the spots that they could eat. In some games, guys had a little bit more, and other games, other guys had a little bit more. It can be difficult to not let the game plan get too voluminous to try to find that stuff, because you want to be able to have a small plan, let guys go play fast. But I think that what's happened is everybody's kind of embraced their role and dove into the things that they know that they can contribute. As far as the challenge of it, that's what coaches enjoy, is the chess, playing chess and trying to figure out ways that we can get guys freed up and get guys touches in the run game and so on.
Is it conversations that you have with Garrett? Because obviously he's a very passionate person when he's talking about football, really anything.
Yeah, I think I mentioned last week, Garrett and I talk a lot during the week, and we talk during walkthroughs and little things in between periods at practice and all that. We have great dialogue, and I try to be intentional with my relationships, no matter if it's a guy at Garrett Wilson's stature or somebody on the practice squad. I want to make sure everybody feels their value in this offense, and so I definitely am very intentional with the conversations I have.
Todd, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, I was going to say, I know you're not game planning against Josh Allen this week, obviously, but you have a lot of common opponents, so I'm sure you've seen just about every one of his snaps. What have you thought of his season so far?
Obviously, MVP worthy. He's playing at a really high level and making plays left and right. It's not just his ability to extend plays and to make the splash plays that show up on ESPN, but the accuracy he's throwing the ball with and the way he's distributing the football and the toughness he's showing finishing runs and things of that nature is just really impressive. He's an elite player and will be for a long time in this league.
You guys have been pass heavy in the red zone this year. So looking at it from just strictly a layman's perspective and as an outsider, I wonder how much of that is Aaron just checking to pass plays?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that there's a ton where he just checks out of a play. Oftentimes, we'll build our run game so that if it's an advantageous look for the run, we hand it off, and if they load up the box and they're trying to take away the run or have a run pressure or something like that, that we have what we call run solutions on the outside where there are one-on-one opportunities on the outside. So sometimes those passes can come from those type of scenarios. Certainly looking for ways to stay balanced as we do on first and second down. Once we cross into that red zone there, I think that as you look at the defenses that we've faced and the structures of the defenses we've faced, the passes have been a little bit more byproduct of the coverages we're getting than anything else.
What does he, when he goes to the line of scrimmage, and I'm not talking red zone, I'm talking like everywhere, does he have how often does he have like multiple options? Like you give him 2 or 3 plays?
Yeah, they can come in a multitude of different ways. Sometimes we'll jump the ball in no huddle, and he has 2 or 3 plays that we've discussed during the week. He uses his cadence to see what they're in and then picks from that menu. Sometimes it's built into the play call. We have this run and can it to another run or pass based off a look. And then sometimes there are automatics that we talk about throughout the course of the week and say, hey, if we get this look, we don't want to miss the opportunity to run this play, so let's get to that. So we all know Aaron has a good amount of freedom at the line of scrimmage that's well earned and deserved, but it's never anything that we haven't discussed throughout the course of the week.
What did you think about Olu's rookie season, and can you speak about the options you have there this week with Max and Carter?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about Olu because that guy got better and better every single week, and heartbroken for him that it couldn't end, with a final couple of games building off of what he's done. I watched him grow each week in his demeanor, his approach to preparation. He's matured every single week. I thought he got better at some physical attributes throughout the course of the season. I thought you could see him really develop some of the techniques that Keith's been working with him so diligently and individual, and really excited about his future. As far as the options for this week and next week, there's going to be a battle for that competition here starting in a couple of hours. And those guys are both, Max and Carter have both done a great job with the opportunities they've had when they've been called in on short notice, and excited to see which one of them comes out on top.
Can you speak about the dynamic with the Bills' defense? I mean, from afar, it feels like they're bend but don't break, but they're also up there in terms of the takeaways. They give up the yards, but they turn people over.
Yeah, I think you look back into some of the bend don't break kind of phrase. I remember coming out early in my coaching career back with the teams like the Chicago Bears under Lovie Smith that would play Tampa 2 with Urlacher and Briggs and this pass rush, and they may give up a couple of yards and a couple of first downs in a drive, but man, they were always taking shots on the ball. Peanut Tillman inventing the peanut punch. So I think those bend but don't break mentalities give them more opportunities on the football. So if you're playing vision zones and a ball is completed in front of you, or it's a 2-shell and we run the ball and get to the second level, those are ops for forced fumbles and ops to tip balls and things like that. So they certainly make taking the ball away a priority in Buffalo. That's evident on the tape, and that's something we have to be very aware of in this matchup.
So what have you seen from Malachi Corley from the standpoint of, obviously you guys are not in the playoffs. Some people might say, why aren't they taking more of a look at him? But you have also good veteran guys here.
Yeah.
So, what have you seen from him, and what do you say to something like that about him not getting a chance here?
Yeah, I'd say, first of all, our priority is winning games, not evaluation. And so we're going to do what we feel puts us in the best position to compete and win games. Malachi happens to be in a room that's got a lot of talent ahead of him on the depth chart. That being said, I think he's got some pros in front of him that he gets to learn from, and certainly has gone through the season wanting more opportunities, but I think he's learning to handle that in better and more mature ways. Malachi's got a bright future in this league, and he's got a skill set, that will eventually help teams, win football games. Right now, though, he's fighting to get the scraps from Devontae and G and Allen and so on. So I think he's learning to be a pro.